Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Aaron Trevino here, and we have a terrific guest here from beautiful Austin, Texas. We have Khiere Simmons. He is the founder and owner of KX Realty here in Austin. How you doing?
Hey, great, Aaron. How about yourself?
I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just fine. It's always a pleasure to be able to talk to someone from the beautiful city of Austin. So I'm glad we could meet up.
I appreciate you for having me on the podcast. I enjoy these.
Yes, sir. See, maybe for those of us who aren't too familiar with you, could you introduce yourself?
Oh, yeah. So my name's Kier. I am originally from Houston, but I went to school here in Austin at the University of Texas at Austin. Went to school for business, and actually picked up my real estate license while schooling. Kind of held on to it as I graduated, and I've kept working deals, kept using it as kind of like a part-time gig while I did Fortune 500 companies, while I worked for an attorney and some startup, and finally decided to kind of venture out on my own, create my own company, get my broker's license, and kind of lead me to where I am today, which is managing over several agents and kind of tackling the beast that is a owner of a company here in Austin, a real estate company here in Austin at that. So it's been fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I kind of know that you talked a bit about, doing business, kind of being on a different track. Did you ever kind of see real estate as being part of your life, or how did you kind of get into this realm?
So I in college I was approached or I saw an ad about becoming a real estate agent, and I've always kind of had an interest in real estate, and that can be seen by the just numerous copies of Monopoly that I own. My parents year after year, I think it's just a running tradition now. They always buy me a different version of the game. So I have like regular Monopoly, anti Monopoly, Mega Monopoly, Lord of the Rings Monopoly, Harry Potter Monopoly, Yu-Gi-Oh Monopoly. I mean, there's just so many versions, and I was just so good at the game. I love the game. The idea of owning property, trading property, um, it just turned out something to be kind of fun for me. So getting my real estate license, I just happened to just play on that, and when I was able to actually do my first transaction and see how just really what is the trading of real estate, it really became a kind of an eye opener for like how valuable um, my position is in the markets, and how valuable my business acumen, and what I learned in real estate, how valuable that is to people. Because a lot of people buying real estate is the most expensive purchase in their lives, and not everyone knows how to do that. So I kind of enjoy being a part of that and educating people, and kind of helping people get to a point of their lives where they can actually say they own property, they own assets that they can then leverage for future endeavors.
Yeah, absolutely. You touched on something interesting as well as, it's one of the biggest decisions or biggest purchases someone will make. But frankly, it's kind of a daunting task for people, right? Even not even knowing where to start.
Yeah, agreed for sure. Because like, where did they teach you this? It wasn't in high school. We didn't learn how to, purchase property or cars or any of that stuff. We in a sense, had to learn it from our parents. And if our parents had the time to teach us these things, then we would all be masters of real estate. But we're not, because our parents don't have that. So we have to just lean on the professionals to do so. And what I've learned is that a lot of people don't even know that our services are free. That when we work with potential buyers, that it's not even like they're not paying for us to help educate them and get the transaction done. It's actually the sellers. So there's a lot of room for education here in the real estate industry, and I'm always a champion for people to kind of expand what they know in real estate and their involvement overall.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you kind of mentioned how, you got your feet wet for that first time doing that first real estate transaction. You kind of realized that you kind of had the acumen to do it. what are maybe some misconceptions that people kind of believe about the industry that, maybe you think that could be dispelled or that people could, um, know more about?
Yeah, I would definitely think that like you don't need a large sum of money to purchase property. There's this whole idea of credit that exists in America that we get to benefit from, and it all starts with just making savvy and adult financial decisions. Knowing about your credit score and how you can leverage that to where you can acquire property, I think is something a lot of people just don't pay too much don't pay more attention to, and have a giant misconception. Like if you have really good credit, you can leverage that to where you don't have to pay high interest, or you don't have to have high down payments. Or even if you do have bad credit, there's certain programs that exist on state and city, local levels that actually help people still get property. You're encouraged to be a homeowner and property owner because you are in a sense improving upon the system that is America. Like you're working on that property. You're making sure that it is part of like a unit helping the entire hive mind in a sense. Like it's that's why we have tax credits for it. Like homeownership is something to be encouraged, and uh, I I think a lot of people in my generation are scared to make that first jump because they're not well versed in what it all takes. So that's why I have me here to kind of help them hold their hands, get them to that point of making that first purchase and future purchases down the line.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. You touched on something interesting as well, talking about, kind of the system, improving it as it exists. What exactly is a tax credit?
So, like when you are reporting your taxes for the end of the year, and you're saying you're making X amount of many dollars, um, there are certain activities that you do throughout the year that allow you to get deductions up to a certain amount. It could be a couple thousand, $100, could be a couple $1,000s. Um, being a homeowner is one of those that allows you to deduct or receive a credit on your taxes to where you're not paying as much to the government. There's even having like health insurance helps you with certain things like that. So there's always benefits to ownership that a lot of people should be looking into. And there's also different ways you can finance and have the properties pay for itself. House hacking is a wonderful kind of tactic being more and more used now by especially people in our age, because we tend to get along with our roommates and tend to are holding off on just the traditional nuclear families kind of mindset up until we're a little bit more older. So I'm seeing a lot of people just buy houses and rent to their friends or roommates just so they can pay for the mortgage. So it's interesting to see how people our age are kind of getting involved in the industry and making the most out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You touched on kind of, maybe the, people like us, kind of the younger generation being okay with roommates, that house hacking approach that they have. What do you think are kind of the differences between the generations, maybe just in terms of how we live or kind of maybe consumer behavior?
I think that the older generations, if I had to see a difference, there would definitely be one in just the kind of service they request of realtors. Um, Back in the day, I would say it was a little bit more white glove service to where um, you spent a lot of face-to-face time with your realtor and traveling neighborhoods and seeing properties, just kind of hand in hand with your realtor to where it's a very personal relationship. Not to say that has gone anywhere, but it has definitely has evolved to the 21st century now that we have the internet. I think millennials and people our age group, are okay with not having as much interaction face to face, as long as they're getting what they want, which is quick turnaround, quick satisfaction. Uh, we see a lot of people just wanting what's easiest. The more applications that come out in real estate, the more we see more people our age group getting engaged, and but less people of the older generation being happy with that type of migration. We're seeing large shifts to e-signatures like DocuSign, Dotloop, and the older generation is, they are grasping it. But it is just something that needs a little bit more explaining and I guess assurance that it is like, this is okay. This is how we are going to be practicing the trade now.
Sure, absolutely. So maybe just shifting gears a bit, kind of to the city of Austin. Um, I know Austin's obviously a big, vibrant, bustling economy. Where do you kind of see the city growing, or what exactly is going on in the Austin economy?
Oh man, so much. I mean, we see a migration of companies from all over to Austin. We know Austin is a pro-employer state. Not too many unions have a lot of leverage here, so a lot of companies like being set up in Austin. They get lots of tax credits. They get not as much unionization. They can kind of control the workforce a little bit more here. So we're seeing companies, Apple, setting up a new campus in North Austin, right next to more entertainment like ventures such as the Major League Soccer stadium. So we have influx of companies bringing influx of workers, and then we have also influx of entertainment that we're seeing. And if there's two things that people just need to keep going, it's work and fun, a work life and a play life, and we have plenty of that here in Austin. So it's a great time to be in real estate here. It's a great time to be getting property here, scooping up those ones that are specifically in the interior, and in areas where we're seeing development. The east side, Tesla has announced that they're moving. Have purchased property on the east side of Austin and are developing a site there, which is sparing a whole mass growth in that sector, which is, I've already seen plans of entertainment centers around the east side, and of course that leads to more bars, more live music, and Austin kind of maintaining its station as like the live music capital of the world. There's always things to do here, and there's plenty of work coming here, which means there's plenty of fun that's going to be had once we get past this pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely. No, your explanation was terrific, kind of talking about, the bright future the city of Austin has. Um, Even despite this pandemic, it can kind of seem like it's a damper on things, but things are still moving at a decent pace.
Yeah, I can see people just shifting the way they're living to kind of carry on, which I feel like Austin is doing great with the kind of social responsibility when it comes to it. Even when we're going on tours and in properties, I'm not having to argue with people about putting in masks or for explaining why we have to be cautious with walking into houses right now, because we are dealing with high traffic zones. 20 people can walk into the same house a day, touch the same door handles, the light switches and stuff like that. So we really do have to be cautious, because our industry is one of those industries that, though we are essential, we are at risk at the same time of spreading it. So it's always fun to be a realtor.
Yep, absolutely. So what parts of town are you kind of, I know you kind of mentioned, the vibrant parts of the city, the east side, maybe where they're going to put Tesla, Apple in North Austin. Where do you do most of your business, or just mostly all over the city?
I would say all over for sure. There's never a lack of deals to be had, no matter on what side, if you're looking here. So I have done a lot of business up north, but I've done plenty of business down south as well, especially in the rental markets where there's no shortage of people renting, and I mean that as a realtor, that's another source of income too. So um, yeah, it's just all over. And even not only Austin, all over Texas. I do deals in Houston, College Station, San Antonio, and even Del Rio. Like we being a new age real estate brokerage allows us to kind of dip our hands into multiple markets. So it is something that I I I enjoy bringing a new type of service, which is like this kind of whole, I'm not just this niche location brokerage. Like we can travel. We're statewide, and we're gonna be your one-stop shop for all your real estate needs.
Yes, sir. No, that's that's pretty cool. It really shows kind of the power and the versatility that the internet can offer you, right?
Mhm.
You're that good agent, and you're not only that good stationary agent in Austin. I mean, you're statewide.
Mhm. Yeah, and people, as you like are nurturing and maintaining the relationships that you just build throughout your life, like people move, people stay kind of localized, and then sometimes not. That sometimes they're jumping across countries or across uh, states, and but you're always a part of that conversation. And every time they circle back to Texas, I always get to be a part of that conversation. So it is rewarding to kind of always be just aware of like what needs my friends and my network needs, and helping them kind of get those needs and fulfill those needs.
Yeah, absolutely. You touched on something interesting there as well as kind of fulfilling your clients' needs. What are there any particular amenities that people tend to like or that you're kind of seeing?
Oh man, everyone's picky. And to their own right? Everyone's gonna
Yeah.
want things their way. Um, Anything in particular? Oh man, hmm, hard to say because everyone has their own thing. Like me, for example, I was just more when I was looking for my house that I'm in right now. Like I was more cognizant of just how open and how big it felt, even though it wasn't. Like I am just more of like a open space feel, whereas some people are more of like a does the house face north or south or east or west, or does is the garage doors are they separated, or is that one whole door? Some people are really into that. Some people are into uh uh like weird uh like versions of like the game room of just having Harry Potter rooms and just extra little like storage areas. Everyone has their little just concentration about the house that drives them.
Yeah.
And I just, as your realtor, I just kind of just help navigate through all of that because it, it's always something different. It really is. Some people, I think the biggest thing for everyone is location. Like in real estate, like everyone is cognizant of where they are and cognizant of where it is comparative to the locations they want to do. Like for Austin, a lot of people want to be central because a lot of things happen downtown, Sixth Street. Um, but I think that kind of goes hand in hand of where you are in your life. I think a lot of single people tend to live more central as because there's more social engagement and there's more chances for people to meet other people. Uh, Once you live more central or you have access to those to those points. But as people start to kind of purchase more property, more long-term property, we are seeing them on the outskirts, like where I am now and here in Pflugerville. We are seeing those areas kind of just pop off and really show high demand because people are deciding to settle and kind of settle, like stay in all, realize they're going to be in Austin for a little bit longer than just a couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's one of those things where you're kind of getting this influx of people that are coming in, maybe they're young, they're from another part of the country. They don't know how long they're going to be here. And then time goes by and they kind of realize, okay, maybe this is the place I'm going to be.
Yeah, and I mean, I've traveled. I consider myself a well-traveled person, and just last year I got to see a lot of the big cities here in the United States, and I will say Austin is my favorite. I cannot see myself. I can see myself living in some other cities, but Austin is just, I don't know. It's everything I need, and it's in Texas. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's perfect. Like I get great state of Texas, but I get my Austin vibes, if you will, because I love Texas. I love Blue Bell ice cream. I love my steaks. I love barbecue and
Yeah.
all those Texas traditions. But I also love Austin's little weird quirkiness that it brings. I feel like I help bring some of that to the city. And I want to keep doing that. It's just such a fun passion for me.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I mean, coming from you, that speaks volumes because, I know you're from Houston and people from Houston love Houston. So when you
Yeah,
say you love Austin, that means a lot.
yeah. It's definitely there's people that come from Houston that I think blossom more in Austin, but then there's other people that like, nah, Houston is where they were meant to be. But Austin is a fun place to visit for them. So there's always a weekend where I'm entertaining some of my Houston visitors.
Yeah, for sure. No, you pointed out something interesting as well, kind of talking about, obviously Houston's a humongous metropolitan city.
Hmm.
What is it about coming from a big environment like that to still a good environment in Austin and blossoming?
I think Austin's I don't think I know Austin's a lot younger than Houston is. Like the median age is significantly lower. And I think with that comes a drive to do do more social activities, be more social, engaging our community a little bit more. Houston is a very there's a lot of Houston is a lot focused on spending your money on goods and services, and I think I'm more focused on spending my money on more entertainment. Kind of, I I enjoy making memories with my money. So I think Austin caters to that type of mentality a little bit more, and I think the youthful the youths cater to that as well. So with the University of Texas constantly bringing in um, younger adults, and with the Austin being live music capital of the world, with the numerous festivals that are here, like there's just always things that are just ready for someone to get into. If you're bored in Austin, you're choosing to be bored. Whereas in Houston, I feel like it's not so much of a choice. It's just more like I don't have any money to go shopping. That's what boredom is in Houston.
Yep. No, I totally get that. That's what's pretty neat about Austin. I mean, it's young, it's vibrant, the food's good, the people are great.
Oh, the food, yeah, the food. Oh, I'm not a foodie. My biggest thing is trying to eat more, but uh, Austin is a great place to really explore the palate and try some really just unique dishes. I've never Food trucks are really large here, and I I've never had so much food out of a back of a truck before coming to Austin. But it's great because have gotten to try some dishes from all over the world. So Austin definitely has the culture. I think that it can't. I've yet to find a place that beats it here in America.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I was on I where was I? I was downtown. Oh, I was on Rainy Street, and I was walking by and I saw a bunch of food trucks, and they were just from all over the world, Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil, I think there was Japanese, there was a restaurant from Lebanon, I think, all these different places.
Yeah, I've gotten to work with some companies in doing like food truck festivals and getting them into communities for services, and it's such a strong business here. And honestly, I think more people should be encouraged in following those models, like um, providing food to communities and doing it your own way with your own style, your own branding. I think it's that entrepreneurial kind of mindset that I love, and I see it a lot here in Austin, and I want a lot more people to kind of tap into because I so much more. So there's so much opportunity, and in a climate like today, I feel like there's there's chances that need to be taken, and now's the time. So I'm hoping to see a lot more people be engaged with the Austin markets, whether it be real estate or investing or just doing business, with the food trucks or wherever. Like, get involved, like get out there. Like there's lots of money coming through here, and everyone can benefit from it. I know I am, and I'm trying to create more agents so that they can benefit of it from it too. Not only here in Austin, but all over Texas. So yeah, oh man, like that's a whole nother.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, if you wouldn't mind expanding, you also talked about, kind of the climate, right? So kind of the climate of people coming here, taking advantage of those opportunities. What exactly is the climate like?
From like the realtor side or like the
Yeah,
client side?
from the realtor and the client side.
Okay. Well, for the client, I would say um, like the time mortgage rates are low right now.
Yeah.
Let's scoop up some property and get you locked in on some good rates and some good areas that are going to be appreciating. I mean, we're seeing 7% appreciation in Austin, 5% in some other areas. Like we can get you some really some property that is going to mean something, down the line as Austin continues to experience this crazy growth. Um, of course, you can't make promises like that. Everything's subject to market changes. But from what we've been seeing, like now's the time to just get in there. Um, from the realtor side, I mean, I don't think it's ever bad to practice real estate. There's ever real bad times because even when people are like offloading property, they gotta have agents for that. So I mean, now's the time to really, like, people are buying and people are selling, and we're part of both sides of that transaction, and we're collecting our fees both times. So I mean, now's with the internet, we can it's becoming easier to find clients that are serious, that are um, capable and willing to put their credit on the line and be a part of the real estate transactions.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So what other ways has kind of the internet kind of revolutionized things? I know we talked a bit about dot loop, kind of the older generation
Mhm.
trying to become more accustomed to the digitized way of doing business, but how else has kind of the internet maybe changed you or your business model and what you do on a daily basis?
Well, I think I kind of entered it, with the internet. I entered this industry kind of riding the internet. but I've seen a lot of areas where the internet can be of use, and those areas are still need to be worked on. It takes a long time for government run, you know, organizations to catch up. So uh, we're seeing some growth. I have seen these things. Cell phones become the new keys, thanks to the internet. We've as realtors, this is all we need in order to get access to most properties now through the whole Supra um, kind of e-key service, which I have. I'm so fortunate for that because running around and collecting keys and trying to gain access, I could only imagine was a headache before um, we got these great tools. So there's the we've gotten the MLS. The MLS has now been improves thanks to the internet. Like we get updates the second a property hits the market, you're notified. So if you're kind of one of those on the balls type of buyers, um, you'll know just like that if you're working with the realtor. Some of these sites like Zillow might take 30 minutes or a day to kind of update, but um, you typically if you're working with a professional who's like plugged you into the MLS, you're getting those notifications as soon as possible. So if you're in a hot market like Austin, you're able to make those snapshot decisions of let's go tour it, let's go put in an offer. Because if you're not, then you're missing out on a lot of the great deals.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So I know you mentioned how you're, doing a lot of deals around, not only Austin and really statewide, but mostly in Austin. Are there any particular types of homes that you kind of focus on, or what do most of your homes kind of look like?
They've been, I guess, half new builds, half resales. Um, I've seen, I couldn't really say there's been a distinct type of like house. I mean, I guess not so much on the townhomes and um, duplexes. I mean, I have sold a duplex, um, we purchased a duplex. We have purchased a couple condos. Um, a lot of purchases right now. Would love to get more listings and get selling more property for sure. Done a couple sales this year, but we've it's definitely been a buyer type of year for us, which is good because that's typically when we're working with buyers, we're working with people who don't necessarily know the kind of ins and out of real estate transactions and kind of need our guidance.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought I'd ask, because some people, they strictly work on new construction, right? Or they'll strictly work on, particular type of property.
Oh yeah, and we'll like definitely. And if it's real estate, we're gonna help you out with it. We're like a one-stop shop type of brokerage. So we'll do commercial, we'll do residential, we'll help you buy a lot of land. We'll help you buy some farmland. We're out here to just help you, in any manner that we can. So it's always a fun time to be a realtor, as I said.
Yeah, you're kind of running the gamut there, because you mentioned how you're the one-stop shop. You're the one that's able to do the farmland, but yet, still do the city thing. And
Mhm.
you're kind of able to provide this versatile service for people.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of just asking people questions, kind of trial and error sometimes because sometimes you just don't know what you don't know until you kind of go through it, and then you're like, okay, so this is why you got to pay attention to mineral rights because it's actually a big thing. So as the broker, I'm responsible for um, being abreast with that information and making sure my clients receive all the information that they need in order to be successful in their transaction. So I do take it, you know, I, I do make it a matter of great importance to uh, do my due diligence, make sure my clients are well attended to, so that they can, like I said, be successful in this real estate transaction.
Yeah, absolutely. That's key. Kind of doing your little homework, doing your due diligence, and just making sure that everyone's informed, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So, for you and your brokerage, and maybe where you're at right now in the industry, what are you looking to build on? What are you looking forward to in the future?
Yeah, so I'm in this kind of expanding type of era for my brokerage. I am looking to just really set bring agents in and really kind of give them the right tools to be successful and service a lot of my network and the people that are out there looking for places. I mean, there's so many, and I think that number is going to be increasing. And Austin, we see record breaking sales happening right now, and I would I kind of want to get to a point where it's I myself am not working on transactions. It's my agents, and I'm just kind of monitoring their sales and transactions. So right now I'm trying to get people licensed. I'm trying to get people sponsored, and get them kind of up to speed on what they need to be successful as a real estate agent here in Texas. So we got people in the pipeline. I'm always looking for more. Some people, it is an investment to become an agent, and like it takes 180 classroom hours. It takes passing the state and national exams, and for some people that's not always, they can't always give that amount of time and energy and effort, and that's okay. But in this type of industry, we need go-getters, and we need people who are going to be, out there, who are hungry, who are willing to not willing to work, not solely of the promise of just receiving a large check, but just of being an asset to the community. And because the money will come if you're good at your job. So just be good at your job, and have that, really take that fiduciary responsibility to heart, because people are relying on you.
Yeah, absolutely. You made a great point there about kind of having that fiduciary responsibility and doing the right thing, and it'll work itself out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I there's a lot of times where I could have done things in my better interest versus my clients, but that's not my job. My job is not for making me as much money as possible. It's for putting my clients in the best possible place. And I've enjoyed their reactions every single time the deal's been done, and they get the new keys to their new home. Like it's nothing really beats that feeling, no matter how much money I couldn't make with alternative deals. So it's great to be a fiduciary.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You're kind of you're the one that kind of connects everyone, and you're part of it. You're part of the deal.
Yeah. My signature is on that paper when it's all said and done.
Okay, very good. Is there anything that you haven't said that you'd really just like to hammer home?
I mean, for anyone who happens to be listening, just now's the time. Now that we're in this kind of shift, with this pandemic, now that we have, um, people people giving out opportunities for various investments and just different ways for people to spend their money. I want more people to consider real estate as uh, a way for you to kind of spend your money smart, and it's in a very smart and financially responsible way, because you can make some money. You can make a lot of money in real estate. And for those of you who want to get involved, reach out. There's plenty of people that are industry experts like myself and you, Aaron. We've been in this industry. We know a lot of uh, key individuals that land people property, and I think the biggest thing is just making sure that we're bridging those gaps. I want more people. I want people to be more property owner. I want more people to be homeowners. I want more people to be um, uh, landlords and getting involved with that whole process. I want more people to look into commercial real estate. Open up your own shop, your own convenience store, laundromat, printing business. Get out there, because there's so much to be had, and now's the time to take advantage of it.
Yeah, well said. Absolutely well said. Maybe someone's watching, they like what you've had to say thus far, and they want to get a hold of you. How do we get in touch? Where can we find you?
Oh yeah, so I'm all over the social medias. I think Facebook, KX Realty PLC.com. That's the website.com, but KX Realty PLC is searchable in the Googles and in the internets and the webs. Um, you can also find me. You can reach out to our email info@kxrealtyplc.com. You can also, just check us out online and reach out. And we do daily posts on our Facebook page. We're looking into getting our TikTok page up. We see a lot of realtors being successful in that realm of just showing some of the beautiful houses. So we're definitely trying to hop on that train. And yeah, just reach out to any anybody on me or my team. I have assistants, I have agents, and if there's anything we can do to help service you or our community, we're going to do it.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I'd be happy to put, the link in the description of the video as always. Khiere, I've really enjoyed having you as a guest. It's been great talking, learning a bit more about you, about what you do, what you do for not only people just in Austin, but all over the state. So thanks for coming on.
No, thank you for having me, man. I enjoy talking, and it'd be great to do this in a studio somewhere where we can kind of go toe to toe, but coronavirus. So whenever we want to do this again, I'm more than happy to lend my 2 cents.
Yes, sir. We'll do it in person, and we'll have to get, I don't know, some food, barbecue, something like that.
I wouldn't be opposed.
Oh man, now I'm getting hungry. Okay.
Me
Well,
too.
all right, Khiere. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and definitely dropped a lot of wisdom, and that was a good time. So thanks again.
Well, thanks for having me. And if anyone has any need for real estate here in Austin, Texas, I'd be more than happy to throw them your way, just as I would hope you would throw them my way.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Aaron.